Okay.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Black Mental Health is Black Health. I'm your host, and as always, you won't find out about my guest until a few minutes after we do our breathing. But I have a cool, exciting guest, and we're going to be talking about Kwanzaa. This is the last show of the year. Since New Year's and Christmas are on Thursday, we won't be here. So this is the last show, and I always like to end talking about Kwanzaa and how important it is culturally. So let's get started with a few cleansing deep breaths. If you've never been here before, I'll count to four very slowly, and you'll breathe in very slowly, and then I'll say breathe out, and you'll breathe out very slowly. We'll do 3 deep cleansing breaths. Let's get started. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Those cleansing breaths can help you sort of decompress from the day and just focus and be present. So, Savannah, how was that deep breathing for you?
It was good. I'm glad because my heart was kind of beating fast for some reason. So that
See, it
helped
works. It just calms you down. It
for
has that
sure.
effect. So, it's really good. It's something you can do anytime, anywhere. Just take some deep breaths. Well,
Mhm.
I always like to ask my guests, tell us who you are and something cool about yourself.
My name is Savannah Carter. I am currently a senior at the University of Houston studying psychology with a minor in religious studies. And something cool about me, I guess I'll say I can play 4 instruments.
Oh, what instruments do you play? I didn't know it was four.
I actually it's 5, sorry. I play flute, trombone, piano, viola, and flute, trombone, piano, viola, and I'm missing one. I don't remember what it is.
I'm trying to think of what else it was. Yes, I
Flute,
remember you.
trombone, piano, viola. I'm missing one. I don't remember it.
Hmm. I remember all those instruments. Yes.
Yes, from 4 years old to high school, and I graduated at 17. So yeah.
Yes. I remember. Remember seeing you in marching band.
Yes, flute and trombone for marching band.
Yes, and all that good stuff. Well, tonight we're going to talk about Kwanzaa and the principles of Kwanzaa. And the reason I feel it's important, um, the principles are not just something we study for 7 days and we celebrate them. These are principles we should live out 24/7, 365. These are principles that can help us make our life and our community better. Before we talk about the principles, Savannah, what do you know about Kwanzaa? What does it mean to you? Have you celebrated? Just tell us something about your experiences with Kwanzaa.
So, from my experience with Kwanzaa was actually mostly from my childhood. I don't really celebrate it anymore with my family. I actually celebrate it with Miss Brown. She's basically my second mom. So, basically, I remember having to learn about it, which was really fun. We know that each candle represents a specific day. We know that the candles also represent the African flag, and that's where Kwanzaa originated from, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's just about, I remember it mostly being about learning more about yourself as well, while also learning more about your family. Each day is something specific. And I remember each day I was trying to apply that to myself or either discover something new about myself.
Awesome. And the colors represent the African Liberation Flag, which is it's an
Liberation flag.
American holiday that
Mm-hmm.
ties us to our African roots. It
Correct.
was founded in 1965 by Malana Ron Karenga. And it is a way to, and Kwanzaa itself means first fruits. And so
Mhm.
it's celebrating the first fruits of the harvest, but it's also the rebirth and renewal. And as we go from the end of the year to the beginning of the year, it's a time to refocus and think of what we need to do for ourselves. And that's what those principles do. And so Kwanzaa is celebrated for 7 days. Each day has a different principle, and she's right. We light a candle every day, and this is called a kinara. And the kinara is the candle holder, and the cup is the unity cup. And you see the fruits and the vegetables, the vegetables around that. That's representing children and life and birth coming up. So this is what a Kwanzaa setup would look like. And again, the colors red, black, and green. Red, black, and green are considered the colors of the African liberation flag, which is an American concept, because these are the colors that are found in many of the flags in Africa. When you look at all of them, these are the colors that are there, and that's how red, black, and green originated. So what we want to do tonight is tell you about these 7 principles and see how they apply to your life. So I'll read the first one, Savannah. Well, you can read the first one, Savannah. What's that first principle?
Unity. So, unity is to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. This is day 1, December 26th.
And the principles have a Swahili name. Swahili was chosen because it is a language that was understood in different parts of Africa. And when it was chosen to be celebrated, when it was created here in America, there's a Swahili word, and the Swahili word is umoja. When you hear unity and it's to strive and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race, what does that mean to you, Savannah?
I think now when I see unity, I specifically see it as like being together in a Black community, especially because I'm a Christian preschool teacher. So, being there, I feel like being as a leader is all about unity and just providing a community. And it's not just like a random community like where you live at and stuff. It's also about race, like it says. So like your Black community, or you can have just specific communities like things that you do, like my school community. That's like my own community too. For my family, I see that as my personal community because not everyone in my family is Black. I also have like Chinese nephews and things like that. So I see that as unity too, and things like that.
That is cool. I like the way you really expounded on community. That
Hmm.
community is, and we are all a part of different communities. Like you say, your family is a community, your job, school, work. So that is a really cool way to look at it. And when we think about as Black people having our community, we can be part of our own community of African Americans and be anywhere in America or
Right.
Africa, those of African descent, anywhere throughout the world, throughout the diaspora.
Hmm.
That's a community. And we want to have that unity in that part of our community. Awesome. The next one is Kuji Chagulia. And this one is self determination. What does that mean to you, self determination, Savannah?
Personally, for self-determination, I see it as what I define as myself and who I am. You saying no?
Mm.
Oh, I thought you were telling me no, like,
No, no,
no,
like,
that's not
mhm.
right.
No, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's basically like pretty much who I am, like my spark, who I am, how I carry myself, what makes me me. So my identity is what I see it as.
I like that. And it is. And it's determined. It also talks about knowing who you are. And like you say, I'm me. And self determination, when you are that determined person, not letting someone define you.
Right.
Um, it is defined as to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves as a
Hmm.
community and individually. So, as African Americans, we have been defined by others. As Africans throughout the diaspora, we've been defined by others. But Kuti Chagwali is self determination. I can define me. I
Right.
can name myself. I can create for myself. I can speak for myself. I can speak for my
Mhm.
community. Um, I just get to be who I want to be, who I am, who I need to be. How do you define yourself in terms? Yeah, I'll just ask and leave it open like that. because it says you can define yourself, name yourself, speak for yourself. If someone asks you, and I'll answer it too, but you can go first.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define yourself?
So my fun word, because the most questions you get in college is like define yourself in one word for icebreakers. And
Mm.
so I'll do that. I feel like the one word to describe me is insatiable, but in a good
Ooh.
way. And I think that's because I've always been taught to strive for more. For example, like I said, I play four instruments. One could be enough, but it never is. Getting my degrees, I'm like, I'm actually working on getting my master's and PhD at the same time right now. I'm about to graduate. And it's like I always just want more for myself and I want better. So I know it can sound bad saying like, oh, I'm never satisfied, but I think it just show how ambitious I am and how I'm always able to strive for more and push myself to my limits to see what else I can do and accomplish.
I think that's awesome. And no, I think it's good to say I'm never satisfied. And it's one of those things, it depends on how you mean it. And
Right.
the way
Mm-hmm.
you are saying it is that I need to always grow. And I think we
Mm-hmm.
should always grow no matter what age we are. And that
Right.
definitely fits with self-determination. I'm determined to keep growing, keep
Mm-hmm.
striving. I mean, I will go with your word too. Always wanting to
Essential.
grow, not changing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
even at my age, well, I'm going to start another business. I'm going to do this.
Right.
Why
See?
stop waiting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even doing this show, I was like, well, I want to do it. I want to get information out there to my people. Okay, so I'll do it. Even when they say, well, I don't think, you don't have the experience, you don't know. Okay, I'll get it. I'll learn it. And I think that's where
Mm-hmm.
that determined to do what you need to do for yourself. And in the sense of Kwanzaa, it is not just about you, it is about for your community.
Right.
I am because we are. So when you strive to be determined, it's not, I just want to be good for me. I want to be good
Mm-hmm.
for my community. I want my community to be good. I want to make my community better.
Yeah, and I think that also will connect to the next topic because also I think bettering yourself, it also helps. Like they say, it does take a village to raise children, but not all that. It takes a village to just maintain the community in general. So
Ooh,
by you bettering yourself, you're also bettering the community because we're a reflection of all of that. It's not just a reflection of your parents, it's a reflection of everyone. So it's like being in today's society, like you said, like not wanting to be boxed in and creating your own identity. So it's like if we are going to be boxed into everyone else, we might as well make ourselves look good as one big united community.
I love that. Yes, that is what it's all about. That community, going back to unity. And you see
Mm-hmm.
how the
It all
principles,
connects. Yes, slowly.
yes. And with the
Yes.
next one, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. I'll let you read that one to the audience.
Ujima is to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together.
And you're right when you said that one bleeds right into this because
Mm-hmm.
our self determination is for our community. How do you see this one?
Like I was saying, I see it as not just bettering ourselves for ourselves and to make ourselves look good, but also to help our community. I think a lot of times when we see things happen, everyone still has that mindset of, oh, let me just mind my business. But it's like if your brother and sisters in help, we're supposed to be here to help. If you can help someone take that load off, why not help? Like I said, we all want to have that village to help ourselves, but we also
Mhm.
need to be active in that village to help others.
I totally agree. And when we think about it, and sometimes people think helping has to be a big thing. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's just too much work. Sometimes you help somebody just by listening to them.
Right.
When we think about community, if I can just stop and be there for you, someone I
Mm-hmm.
know says he calls it the ministry of presence. Sometimes just being present with someone can help because that,
Mm-hmm.
that reminds me of the part of it says, our brothers and sisters' problems are our problems and we solve them together. Sometimes just being in community with a person, just
Mm-hmm.
being there for them, but taking responsibility for your community. If
Mm-hmm.
you see somebody trash in your community, let 'em do it. I live here.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
trashing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you see someone, just really dogging out your people, they need to just talk about black folk like, oh,
Yeah.
horrible. Don't let them. That
Right.
we need to build up. Yeah, I think that's so important to take our community and make it stronger. What do you think
Mm-hmm.
you're doing to make your community stronger? Because I know you do a lot. That's why I don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, so actually it starts up pretty much in the spring. My friend Gav, she's actually getting married this year, but she started a little, I want to say Bible study, but it's more like kind of like accountability type thing. It's
Hmm.
called Women Winning the Battle, and it's basically for like women who struggle with lust and things like that and relationships and stuff. So we always talk to each other, help each other out with questions and things like that. And I've been doing that too since I've gotten out of a relationship about a little bit over a year ago. So doing that, helping my community with that. So that's like my small little personal
Hmm.
communities that I like. We text all the time in this big group chat. Wednesdays at UH, we have a Black Campus Ministries Bible study, and I'm actually one of the leaders for it. So that's like my little community. I text my members all the time, seeing what they're up to. We all follow each other on Instagram. We always invite each other to like young adults nights, worship nights, and things like that, and different church communities. And then on Friday, I have another Bible study called Bible Fridays that my friend Michaela started with. And this guy named Eobel basically just started having Bible studies in his house, and friends invited friends, invited friends, invited friends. And that's our community. One of our other friends, David, he started a Discord where we can put in scripture questions, where we can just chat about like random videos we see on TikTok about the Bible and things like that. And then, of course, last but not least, I have my other community at my job. Like I said, I'm a preschool teacher. We actually help, it's free tuition. We help underprivileged families. So
Hmm.
not only that, for um it's kind of like a trade-in. So they get 4 days of free childcare, but the last day on the fifth day, they actually volunteer in the classroom as a teacher helper. So doing that, that allows them to be with their child more. They can spend the whole day with their child, learn their friends, meet new parents and things like that. And that has to be honestly one of my favorite communities, just seeing everyone connect, learn their kids more, learn other children more, and things like that.
That is awesome. And all of what you're saying really supports the collective work and the
Yeah.
responsibility and the unity, and goes
Mm-hmm.
with the part that says our sisters and brothers' problems are our problems. Because you
Right.
mentioned about how you have the different groups and you chat
Mm-hmm.
and being supporting each other.
And I
Amazing.
think it's really nice because, like, in one of the groups, two of the groups I'm a leader, and two of the groups I'm not a leader. So it's like not only can I pour into others, they can also pour into me. It's not just me trying to take the lead in every single thing and try to control everything. It's good to just
Mhm.
sit back and have someone help you, and then be able to turn around and do the same for others. And something that I learned in one group, I can take to another group. One person I met in one group, I can connect them to a better group. So it's just crazy how we have all these different communities, but at the end of the day, we're all one, striving just to be better.
Yes. Amazing. Amazing. Which leads us to Ujamaa, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. And this is talking about buying black, spending money in
Hmm.
our own community because our dollar does not circulate enough. What do
At all.
you have to say about that? Spending money with other black folks.
Well, I'm always down for spending money. You know me. I'm always down to shop. If it's black, 10 times better. Even more reason to explain to my dad why I'm spending so much money. But I think honestly, this mostly I feel like I've always known about black businesses because I've always been to flea markets. I've been to the Nutcracker things and things like that. And I think since Houston is so diverse, it's like eventually we will eventually go to our communities. We have like our own things and our own things together. So I think when it comes to it, it's a very good thing. And we've definitely seen an uprising in 2020 when the Black Lives Matter movement came about everyone being like, we need to be in our community. Like, it's so good for us to stand strong. And I honestly think it would make more sense. Like, we always complain that we want more funding from the government and stuff like that. But really, it does start with us. Like, think about it. If we're giving our money to these businesses, our business are able to give back
Mhm.
to us. A lot of these business don't mind donating. I've seen businesses do like from little things like hair shops. Like, everybody complains hair is expensive, but I see these same hair shops being the one going to parents and schools, giving out free haircuts, giving out free hairstyles for little girls. I've seen some businesses who like to make custom clothes give out money for school and uniforms. People who need new shoes, these basketball programs, we should like it's just little things like that. And
Mhm.
I think if we were able to spread the word more about that, of how important it is and how us giving is how we give back, it will help a lot more giving back to the community.
And I like what you're saying is that as we support the businesses, they can support us and they
Right.
give back. And it is a give and take, but we have to
Mm-hmm.
support keep them in business so they can support.
Right.
And you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, the black barbers who go and do the haircuts, the black
Mm-hmm.
beauticians who go and do the haircuts before school. And different. I've seen them do it for prom time.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is their giving back. So you're right. It's a give and take, and we have to support. And I encourage everyone, if you like to go out and eat, you can actually Google Black owned
Right.
restaurants near me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it all the time. And then after a while, you get to know, and you can find something. There are Black vegan
Mm-hmm.
restaurants, there are Black
Mm-hmm.
soul food restaurants, there are Black
Yeah.
Caribbean, and so you can find what you like. And you might have to go out of your way a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
find what you like that can support our community.
Right.
So it's important. Purpose, Nia. The official definition of that is to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community, um, in order to restore our people and their traditional values. It's purpose. Our purpose is not just my purpose, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
collective vocation in the community. What can I do collectively so that my purpose connects with my community's purpose? What would you, and you're young, and our purpose can evolve, but right now in your life, what do you think your purpose is?
I think my purpose right now is to lead. This was definitely a struggle I had with because I feel like I was always thrown into a leadership position instead of me choosing it since like high school. But I believe my purpose is to lead and spread my knowledge. Like I was saying, when I was saying I was insatiable, and you said it too. We were both insatiable, but about two completely different things. For example,
Mhm.
yours was starting businesses, starting podcasts and YouTube and like getting your name out there, sharing your stuff. Mine's is more about teaching and spreading knowledge. For example, I said I'm the leader for two Bible studies, but I'm also a teacher for the school and things like that. And when I come to insatiable, like I said, I love collecting degrees. That's why I'm trying to get my master's and my PhD. So it's like, since I have the privilege to be able to go to college, have a college fund, get an education, travel the world, meet new things, why not bring that back to my community, show them new things I've learned,
Mhm.
easier way to do things. That's what I see as like making it more beneficial and things like that.
Awesome. And I actually see our purposes is not so far apart. So
Hmm.
I see my purpose as inspiring and helping people. So I started off teaching and one and I still teach. And I look at this show as a platform to teach. Even tonight, we're teaching about Kwanzaa. So
Hmm.
whatever the topic, my goal is for someone to learn something from the
Yeah.
show. And so that's how I look at teaching right now is doing the
Hmm.
podcast, doing different things to creatively get the word out about so many
Right.
different things. And so I'd say for me, my purpose would be inspiring others.
Hmm.
And whatever that looks like, be it teaching, doing this, and hopefully, through different shows, people are inspired. And I've had people come and say, after I watched your show, I always do, shows are going to be sometimes specifically about mental health. Well, I've had
Hmm.
people who, after a specific show and a specific guest, come back and say, you know what? I'm going to therapy now.
Right.
It's not bad. I can do it. Or I did a show on finance and someone was like, you know what? I need that person name. I got to get my finances together. They just made it make sense to me. So
It's
for
that's what
me,
it takes. You're like
yeah,
literally their epiphany. Like they're like,
yes. And so I always hope with this show, someone's going to have that moment where they're just like, it's right for me. I can do it.
mm-hmm.
Komba, I'll let you read that one.
Comba, creativity, to do always as much as we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it.
Hmm.
Inherited
You're doing a lot with that. So how do you think you
it.
can creatively leave your community better?
I think mine's, which was actually not how I started off, and it was actually being more relaxed in the classroom and doing activities with them and letting them take control, but not full control because they go crazy. But like, so I work with pre-toddlers. I used to work with 1 to 2.5. Now I work from
Hmm.
2.5 to 4. And honestly expressing creativity. I don't think people realize how important it is to not put children in a box. Yes,
Hmm.
sometimes we have to teach them how to do certain things. Like you need to understand how to sit at a table. You do need to understand how to walk in straight lines and things like that. But I'm like, we need to do some things to do creativity. For example, if I give them an activity, sometimes they want to do the opposite thing. And I'm like, well, you're doing an activity and you're expressing your creativity. I'm telling you to color the page. I want you to do it blue, but you choose green. And I'm like, well, why did you choose to use green instead of blue? And I think stuff like that expresses creativity. And that's like they're discovering, like, I don't know, I just want to do green. And I'm like, well, maybe green's your favorite color and you're expressing that rather than forcing them to do one thing and not things like how we want them to do. I think that is too because, at that age they do parallel play. If they see another kid using imagination and saying like, "Hey, this stick is a
Hmm.
wand," that kid is like, "I didn't think so. I thought that was a stick, but okay, let's roll with it." Kids are really like easy going and waves. They like to go with the flow. So it's just letting one kid do one thing will also do it another. And we see that in adults with creativity. We see that especially with our art and like Project Real
Hmm.
House is still up and booming today. Like for example, you see people take things that they learned from their mothers, fathers, and grandmothers about slavery and stuff and put it in art to be able to teach the new generation about slavery and things like that. We're able to connect what we learned from the past through creativity. And I think Black people are so amazing with the fine arts, and that's because of our creativity. And
Hmm.
being able to have that boom in our community is exactly what's going to keep us connected and help us to gain more knowledge about who we are.
So true, so true. Um, and everything you say is also connects it to community. You talked
Right.
about Project Row
Mm-hmm.
House. You talked about the things we've done in the past, and creativity. I love what you said about the children. Yeah, why does
Yeah.
it have to be blue? If I'm
Yeah.
drawing a picture and I want to have a purple tree, why not? It's
Yeah,
my
and they will
picture,
ask you. They
my
will,
heart.
that is so funny about that age. They will ask you. They'll be like, "Well, why?" And I'm like, "You know what? Why not? You're right." Like they will definitely stump you. They're in that
Mhm.
age where all they want to know is why.
Mhm.
And no, 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 no. Of course, but
Of course.
which is
But the
also
good thing about
good.
that is to allow them to be
Hmm.
creative. And our creativity, society will, stifle our creativity. But in this one, it's also talking about how do we creatively make our community better. And one way is to let people have their voice.
Right.
And if it's simple as letting a 4-year old have a purple tree, that's their voice. And as you get older, learning to have your voice. Wow, the time is ticking away. Let's get to the last principle, which is Imani, faith.
Mine.
And this one is defined as to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So this is also looking at a faith in our community. And when you have that sense, knowing that we're good,
Hmm.
believing in your community is sort of like a culmination of everything.
Yeah.
We've got this as a community. What do you have to say about this?
I think having faith is the most important thing. I mean, I've been taught it since I could remember, since I feel like I was born. Like you always have to have faith. And that's honestly the foundation of our community, really. If you have faith
Mhm.
that you're going to be better and we're not those stereotypes that we're taught from other societies and communities,
Mhm.
then we have no better thing to do than grow. Having faith that we can be better, that your child will be better than you, that your neighbor will be better, and that we can all help each other be better and be in a community, that's all you need. You just need the faith. If you're not closing yourself in, then you have no other room but to grow more.
Mm. You summed it up perfectly. And if you believe it, you can achieve it. And part of that is that faith. I believe I can
Hmm.
do this. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my community. And
Hmm.
if I have faith in my community has faith in me. It's that
Right.
togetherness again
Hmm.
and making it work. Woo! We got them all in. And
Yes.
would you like to have a final word in the last 30 seconds? Anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing really, but just expressing how important community is. If we don't have each other, then who does? My friends used to always say that. They'll be like, "Oh, you're only clapping for everyone Black, or we're just clapping for everybody." I'm like, if we don't got our back, then who does? If I'm not clapping for her, then who is? Same
I
thing for
love
men.
it. Yes, that support. Well, I want to thank you again for being here, and I will let the audience know this is our last episode for the year. Well, I'll be back in January, strong and proud, ready to inspire and motivate and teach others. And once again, Savannah, thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully, you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Definitely.